Number of protests going on in cities right across the country today. Thousands of protesters and thousands of counter-protesters turning up. It's all over the issue of gender and sexual orientation education in Canadian schools.
This is what I predicted over 6 months ago, that this is the beginning of the Great Divide. Wait till 2024. You see, the government and all the elites are just standing back and watching us attack each other, like the red ants and the black ants. You know the red ants and the black ants? Okay, you can look it up. If you take red ants and black ants and you put them in a jar and you don't do anything, they'll just meander around, do their own thing, whatever. If you pick it up and give it a little shake, they'll frickin' attack each other to the death. And no matter how long you let them sit, they won't stop attacking each other. Yeah, we started the red ant, black ant divide. Please, people, stop it. Why can't we just be pro-choice?
The original protesters say schools shouldn't be about gender issues. They don't like the idea of sexual orientation being discussed in schools. The counter-protesters are saying that the organizers are homophobic, transphobic. They say there's no place for hate in our country. We're tracking a number.
And secondly, CTV News, that's bullshit. Because we're not against them discussing gender orientations in the schools. But just go so far. Just, educate them, just like you educate people in different religions, and different races, and different cultures, and different genders. But we don't have to be keeping the parents away from the children, that the parents don't have to know if they want to be identified differently. Now, I get it if they want to be identified differently, but it just goes, they're at school to learn. In fact, schools are already screwed up as it is, to be honest with you. And this is a good thing, because this whole is going to completely change our school system, our educational system, because it has to be revamped. You need to go to school and learn what you want to learn. You fancy arts, you fancy dance, you're interested in astrophysics, all you want to do is read, then that's all you should be able to do. Just give the kids the resources. And in fact, they can work really well with each other. They can help each other. They can teach each other about gender identity. They can do this for each other. As adults are getting way too... Take a look at the Zac Efron Down to Earth series a couple of years ago and take a look at the 3rd episode of Costa Rica and watch how they created an educational system for their kids. And I'll tell you another thing. This was my personal experience. We took over a niece for 11 months while she was actually in the midst of gender identifying. Now, she's got a boyfriend now, and she's completely... But she was experimenting at that time, and we didn't even know if it was experimenting or not. But anyways, we took care of her for a while because she had some mental health issues. And I helped get her into the schools, a new school system. And once I learned about this new school system, I was like, what the frick? This should be all school systems. Why do you have to be identified as having mental health issues in order to go to the school? And I'll tell you what the school is all about. They had 50 kids only. Now, I think you could go to 150 kids. No more than that. Even that's pushing it. But they had 50 kids. They had 5 classrooms and a gym. They had a kitchen, a counselor, and a principal, and a secretary. They had 5 teachers, but the teachers didn't teach. There was no chalkboard. Each classroom, even though that should be even revamped more, was for whatever. One was for English, one was for science, one was for math, one was for something else. And the kids would rotate all day, and they knew what their assignments were for the entire semester, which was 3 months. Right? The entire semester, they knew what their assignments were. And they went at their own pace and learned what they want, how they want, the way they wanted. And if they needed help, the teacher was there. But the teacher didn't teach anything. If you didn't learn what you needed to learn by the end of that semester, which was around January of the following year, then in February, you would get the new curriculum for the new semester. You'd have to still finish what you did and move on to the next curriculum. They fed them hot breakfast, hot lunch. And they had gym time. And all they had to do was go in the gym, do whatever they want. They could just sit around if they wanted to. Most of the kids helped each other. And most of the kids graduated early. Like, that is the way school should be, right? What are your thoughts? Anyways, this is my prediction of the Great Divide. Us attacking each other. No, stop. Okay? Let people be what they want to be and do what they want to do. Oh, I have to add one more thing. Years ago, it was right when my daughter was in high school, she could get contraception without me knowing it. In fact, it almost happened, but I figured something out, and she spilled the beans, and it was all cool. Now, I think that's pretty good to stop pregnancies. So, this kid can go on a birth control pill, mostly women, that's what they're going to do, because that's what they're allowed to do. They can get it for free at their school. But are they teaching them about all the diseases they could possibly get while they're, birth control ain't taking care of that. I'm in Canada, in Ontario, And I know part of my daughter's health class was sex education. How far do we go? Can we not just teach them the basics and let it go from there? Not everyone should be a parent. Sometimes I wonder if everyone should be a child. But let's not disempower the community.